And here we go. Thursday, December 9th, 2021. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good. Oh, who's this? Who's this here? Do we have a third co-host here?
We do, man.
Who's this? Can you introduce us to this guy here?
This is my friend Fred.
Oh, hey, Fred.
This is my friend Fred. Fred is last name by Bolitnikoff.
Oh, hi, Fred Bolitnikoff.
Florida State University, played for the Oakland Raiders.
Look at that.
Had the best wide receiver in the country award named after him because he was such a good wide receiver for Florida State and with the Raiders. Won a couple Super Bowls, I believe, over there, Maz.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I had a chance to meet Freddie Bolitnikoff when I won the award, went down there to Florida State. Their stadium was amazing. I remember that. And, I said, since the college awards were this evening, since they come on, the Home Depot ESPN Awards, why not bring my buddy Fred to the studio?
And Maz, and good afternoon to you, Alex? Tom. Hi.
Hi, buddy.
Good.
Good, you?
Good. Now, this Bolitnikoff award, I have never it's like picking up a cinder block.
No doubt. Bigger than a cinder block. Heavier.
I told you, gentlemen, I said, because I was the same way. I said, it's the heaviest college football award. You would think defensive lineman, you would think linebacker, you would think offensive lineman. Not even close. Like, I was luckily warned as I was walking on the stage by Marcus Peters, who won the award, I want to say 99, out of Wyoming. He said, hey, just want to let you know that it's heavy as hell. And boy, was he right.
Unbelievable. So the Bolitnikoff winner in the year 2004 for the country's best wide receiver is this man to my right, screen left, the great Braylon Edwards, the greatest wide receiver in the history of the 100-year-plus history of the Michigan Wolverines.
I'm glad they really went after him, too. What took so long for them to come after you? I still never wrap my head around that. Never.
Recruiting-wise, you're saying.
Of course.
I struggled. I struggled early on in college, in high school. King High School, I didn't do anything my freshman year. Didn't do anything my sophomore year. Junior year was very average. Senior year, it took off. So I'm not offended by the way in which I was recruited late. I was offended my senior year how long it took them to jump on board because Michigan State had offered the summer going into because of how I killed the camp. But here you go. What a catch. Detroit Free Press.
Look at that.
There you go. Look at that. We got that, huh?
Take your hat off. You look just like that guy.
Look at that.
With his haircut. Look at him.
You do not age, my friend. Look at that. Maybe a little bit.
I just don't know what I was doing with the facial hair. Like, it was weird.
You're trying to figure that out.
You know what? Maybe that's what a 21-year-old is trying to do. He's trying to figure life out. So.
Right. Oh, man. That's
you could have been a Spartan.
Yeah, it'd have been me and Charles Rogers,
Wow.
Herb Haygood.
Wow.
It wouldn't have been bad, man.
That's pretty good. Braylon, we love you, man. And this is so great. So Braylon brings in his last week or earlier this week? It was Monday. Brought in his Big Ten championship rings, and now we get the Bolitnikoff. For a couple of slugs like me and Maz and everybody else around the office, we only talk about these awards. Now we get to,
we get our pictures taken with everything.
Yeah, we get to hang with the award winner, actually, every day. We get to pick up the actual awards. You can only envision what a team Big Ten championship ring looks like until you get to wear one. I mean, this job doesn't suck, Maz.
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
I got it. The fans are about to start talking stuff in the chat. No, but we'll talk about the ESPN awards tonight. We'll talk about the guys that are up for the awards, the Nagurski, the Bednarik, the Bolitnikoff.
I'm sure you got some notes on those.
Of 100%. Yeah. The Maxwell. But the good thing about team awards, before we get to that, and then we'll jump into our show, is it's an individual award. You win it by yourself on stage, but it's the perfect time for you to be able to go in there and talk about how good your team is. It's the perfect time to be able to go on the team and talk about, hey, I don't win this Bolitnikoff if Dave Boss and Matt Lentz and Leo Hennigy and Jake Long, who was the right tackle on the team. If Mike Hart doesn't go out there and have 1,400 yards and 10 games, if he's not able to do that, you're not able to win these awards. They're team awards, although they're given to one person. This doesn't happen without a team. No award does.
That's fantastic stuff, and we're going to talk plenty of football today. I would be remiss if we did not mention the Detroit Pistons just quickly because we spent so much time on them in hour number 2 of the program yesterday. They lose to the Washington Wizards last night in overtime, but I will tell you, I have backed off the ledge just a little bit.
Did you see Kate Cunningham?
Because of what happened in overtime and just the way they played last night. That's what I'm talking about. Right?
10 points at the end of that game, and he was flawless to take the team to overtime. K was flawless.
Good bounce back game.
Yeah, it really
Excellent
was,
bounce back.
and it was one that was needed. So I have officially backed away from the ledge. And look, when they needed a bucket late, what happened? They went to their guy, Cade Cunningham, and what did he do? He got buckets late. One small thing about that game last night that bugged me.
Can I guess?
What?
He was the inbounder.
No.
Okay.
You'll never guess what
All
it
right,
is.
go ahead.
So I'm going to tell you. The small thing that bugged me last night, and when it happened, I said they're going to lose by 3. And what did they lose by? They lost by 3. So last night, late in the third quarter, Trey Lyles was fouled underneath. The officials let it go. He was upset about it. He comes down the floor, and Spencer Dinwiddie's just bouncing the ball. He's not doing nothing. He's like, waiting to set up the offense. Trey Lyles comes up, throws a shoulder into him, and starts barking to the officials because he was pissed that he didn't get a call on the previous play.
Right.
Well, teed up, they make 1 free throw. Washington's in the penalty, so 2 free throws. So they go end of the third quarter, instead of being tied, they go down by 3. And then ultimately, they lost by 3. And I said when this happened, you cannot lose control like that. When you're fighting for every point and your team is not very good, you can't do that. So that bugged me a little bit, but I'm going to let that go too because of what I saw out of Cade Cunningham late in the fourth quarter and in overtime. Feel pretty decent now about the Pistons moving forward a little bit.
Yeah, they were fun to watch last night, and you see.
Boom. That's exactly right.
It goes back to what we were talking about last year. Last year, they were a fun team to watch. Ryan and I went to the Valentine's Day game against the Pelicans, and they were just fun. They were scoring points in bunches. They were making threes in the corner. They didn't win the game, but they had a chance to. You felt like this was turning the corner. That's what we didn't see early on, but that's what you saw last night. You saw Cade. I think Cade is learning, as Rod Beard said. Shout out to Rod Beard, man. They're learning how to play together. He's learning how to take the game over. He's learning how to get guys involved, but be the guy. It's a process. It's gonna take some time for them. They're young guys too. Kelly Olynyk still isn't back. Leaders like that. So it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some process. But it was good to see, especially after just having that conversation a couple hours earlier.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. Also, we're gonna be joined in hour number 2 at about 3:36. Or so with our guy Chris Prince, Beerman, part of the Woodward Bets show here on Woodward Sports Network.
He had another good week, didn't he, boy?
Yes, he did, and he is 4-0 on Thursday Night Football since he has joined our show on Thursdays. 4-0. We'll look to make it 5 in a row with the Beerman. Chris Prince will join us at about 3:36, or if you're listening to this on your own time and not live, in about an hour and a half.
The game tonight, Vikings and the Steelers, the 2 teams that gave the Lions their 2 non-losses.
Yes.
Pittsburgh tie,
There you go.
Lions beat the Vikings for their first win. So two behemoths going at it tonight.
And Dalvin Cook has been ruled in.
Yeah, he's in.
So he is in. Thielen
Separated
is
shoulder?
out. Yeah,
dislocated?
Right. No biggie. But we will start, guys, with the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell and the Lions, an 8-point underdog on the road at Denver. Jared Goff and several others have missed practice with flu-like symptoms this week. So we'll get a chance to see what the Lions look like. This is a terrible matchup for the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, because if you just look at pressure, right? I mean, Vic Fangio is going to bring the house almost every play. What does Jared Goff not like? Pressure.
It is not
so
like it.
It's just
not his friend.
It's not a good matchup overall.
And they're going to Denver. You get the. You played in Denver.
Oh, I was
How
waiting
difficult is
for
it?
this. So the Mile High, which is it's no longer Mile High Stadium, but Matt, it will always be Mile High Stadium.
It's Mile High Plaza, though.
Oh, there you go. It has a sexy name to it.
Mm-hmm.
What I learned about going out there is you want to exhaust yourself in the warm-ups, because usually guys go out there and they kind of they chill. They you see Odell in the warm-up and he's doing the one-hand catches and talking to fans and he's dancing. That's typically everybody for the most part. You have to exhaust yourself in the warm-up, and the reason why I say that is you got to get to your second win. Typically what happens when you go out there, you can't breathe if you're first time out there. I trained in Denver for the Combine. I trained at Velocity, which is in Highlands Ranch. Shout out to Derek Touche. Shout out to Lamont Smith, my agent at the time. Like, I couldn't breathe for the first week of working out. Like, you get the nosebleeds because it's thin, there's no moisture in the air. Like, it took me a while to be able to catch my wind in practice. That's why when I came back in April and I had my pro day, it was easy. Like, I was able to run for days because I had been out there for 4 months. But you take a long time to do it. That's why if you work out hard, exhaust yourselves in warm-up, by the time you're exhausted in warm-ups, you go into the locker room, you have that 20, 30 minutes before the game starts. By the time the game starts or you get halfway through that first quarter, you're already on your second win. So you're already able to compete now at the highest level that you'll be able to compete at. That's my secret to the Detroit Lions. Got to go out there and exhaust yourselves in the warm-up so that you have your second win by the time game starts. But if you don't, it's going to be ugly. And, man, the Broncos are pissed. They're coming off that lost 20-play drive, but they didn't do what Michigan State did in the Big Ten Championship. They didn't finish with a touchdown. Didn't finish with a touchdown, so they're mad at that. They've been in some games. They've lost some games. They just held the Kansas City Chiefs to no touchdown.
Yeah.
They kept Mahomes out the end zone. So don't sleep on this Broncos team. They're very inconsistent, and you are catching them at a time where they're pissed.
And this is the actual 17th game that they added on to the Lions schedule. Just happens to be in week number 14 or 13, whatever week we're in now. This was the last game that was slapped onto the Lions schedule.
Look at that.
Yep, they wouldn't have played the Broncos had it been a 16-game schedule.
Well, I think after this one, might wish they didn't play the Broncos.
Hey, next year, Lions get the home game.
Yeah, look at that. So good stuff there. You're going to hear from Dan Campbell talking about playing the Broncos and, of course, those Denver running backs that just seemingly you plug and play each and every year out there in Denver. So you'll hear from Dan Campbell coming back. Lions and Broncos this weekend. Ermanni and Edwards now.
Woodward Sports Network, and it is The Bottom Line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag, our studio sponsor and the place I put my sports wagerings in. And if you're a first-timer, you want to try it, give MyBookie.com a try. Use the promo code Woodward because they'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's money to do whatever you want with it. You could just keep betting with it, or you can take it out and put it back in your account. The best part is MyBookie accepts everything from credit card to well-known cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Litecoin. So you can take out your money that way, and you can also put it in. Tonight, Thursday Night Football, you got the Steelers and the Vikings from Minnesota. Who's going to win that game? We'll see how it goes. You can play on that game, or you can wait till this Saturday, the UFC. It's UFC 269, headlined by the lightweight championship fight between Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. This fight amounts to a coin flip, and someone will probably not answer the bell. So get on that right away. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Use the promo code Woodward for that. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And if you have a gambling problem, please call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
That being said, hell, we're walking into Denver. This is a damn good opponent. And they're in the playoff hunt, and they know that, for them, basically, it is a playoff game. They can't lose anymore is the way they're looking at it. And so this isn't, this isn't some slouch we're playing. This is a damn good team.
That's Dan Campbell talking about heading out to Denver to play the Broncos. He mentioned it. The Broncos are in the thick of the playoff hunt. They are 6-6 out west, so they are right in the middle of things and absolutely need to have a win on Sunday, 4:05 kickoff against the Detroit Lions.
Started off 4-4, but here we are. The big thing about the Denver Broncos is what you saw out of Teddy Bridgewater his whole career. His hallmark, his calling card, he didn't turn the ball over. He was a guy that he would have pedestrian stats, but he would move the chains. He wouldn't turn the ball over. And you can win a lot of ball games when you do that. Even the Pro Bowl year that he had with the Minnesota Vikings before the tragic injury not tragic, but the horrendous injury that he had. his stats were still like, 3,200 yards, 26 touchdowns. They weren't anything to write home about, but he didn't turn the ball over. This season, you're seeing more and more interceptions out of him. Like, he's throwing the ball to the other team. He's fumbling the ball. He's giving the other team, giving the opposition more opportunities to do things. Now, with that being said, that defense is playing better for the Broncos. Like, that's what you're seeing out of them. They gave up 3 weeks ago 30 points to the Eagles. I know that. But Patrick Surtain, the Patrick Surtain Jr., I played against his father, hell of a DB, just like his son, who might be better. Man, they take the ball from the opposition. They get in the wide receivers' faces. They don't give you chances. And that, guys like Josh Reynolds and things of that nature, when you play man-to-man against a team that wants to get rid of the ball quick, which the Detroit Lions have tried to do, it spells havoc and it wreaks havoc. So with the Denver Broncos, man, they're physical up front as well. You got to go out there and match the physicality. What we saw to Derek Barnes and those guys on the 2-point conversions and those last couple drives, that's how they got to play when they go out to Denver.
By the way, Derek Barnes joins us here on the Bottom Line tomorrow. The Lions rookie linebacker out of Purdue. So we're looking forward to that. This Bronco team was undefeated in preseason. Then they won their first 3 games.
3 games.
They beat the Giants, Jags, and Jets.
Right.
Then they lost 4 in a row. And then win, and then win, loss, win.
Streaking.
They're a streaky team. They're not great. You know what? They're not great. I think they were in the Matthew Stafford sweepstakes at one point as well. That's a team that's been looking for a quarterback since John Elway basically left there. So it's an up and down team, but they're going out on the road. It's not a place where the Lions would win, right? This is not a typical Lion win game.
But if you look at their last 2 wins, they beat the Washington football team, who on Sunday have a chance to take out the Dallas Cowboys and really put the pressure on the Cowboys. And they also beat the team.
They creamed them.
Who went to Cincinnati with the weather from the West Coast and got the win in Justin Herbert and the the Los Angeles Chargers. So with that being said, you see that they can compete with the big boys. They can make it happen with the big boys. So that's something as a Lions you have to be afraid of and you have to be nervous of. Those are 2 really good wins at this time of year, considering how both those teams are playing.
Think about the Cowboy game. They were up 30-0 against the Dallas Cowboys, and they won that game 30-16.
Look, they're a pretty decent football team, and don't forget about the fact that Matt Campbell. Sorry, Iowa State.
Campbell?
Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell. His time overlapped in New Orleans with Teddy Bridgewater. So maybe there's some sort of advantage there where the quarterback's tendencies and all that stuff. I just personally don't like the matchup with Jared Goff against Vic Fangio. Because Vic Fangio is going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And Jared Goff, he's got them happy feet.
But he's NFC Player of the Week.
Yes, he is. And I'm not here to knock Jared Goff. It's a bad matchup for that.
It is a bad matchup, but at the same time, coming off the heels of that game, now let's not put too much on the win against Minnesota Vikings. Let's not put too much on the game that he had. But what you did see in that game, you saw Amon-Ra St. Brown. You saw him be able to make some plays. You saw him be able to get the ball in his hands, extend some drives. That works. Because if you're going to have guys coming at you fast, what do you want to do? You want to get rid of the ball. You got to be able to get the ball in your playmaker's hands, as well as Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds, wide receiver that he knew from the Los Angeles Rams, they have a chemistry. Seems like he's helping out these young guys as well. So you mix that in there, and then Jamal Williams was able to run the ball up the middle. They were able to kind of lean on that defensive line of the Minnesota Vikings. So these are things that spell well for the Detroit Lions going out there at this time of year.
Broncos have Melvin Gordon, who's been pretty good this year, but they have Javonte Williams, who's really starting to take more of a leadership role in the backfield. They asked Melvin Gordon, hey, what about next year? Because you're hearing all this rumbling. The fans, they want to see Javonte Williams. So he's like, hey, man, I want to be here. The fans don't want me here, but I want to be here. So I look for Melvin Gordon to have a big game.
And Dan Campbell talked about those Denver running backs as well because, if there's one thing about Denver Broncos football over the last 20, 25 years that you can say is, they just plug running backs in. Yeah. They have their system, and that's what they are. Here's Dan Campbell talking about defending those guys.
Yeah, it is challenging, and I feel like everybody's got backs now, But these guys, yes, they can hurt you, and they're dynamic, and they do a great job up front too. Just schematically, there's a lot of things they do where they keep you guessing. They'll attack you with the same look, formationally, motion, all those things, and all of a sudden it goes the other way, and so. There's enough mixture into what they do to where, man, if we're not sound up front, you know, and with our backers, I mean, they can hit you and hurt you. And then once they get that, especially with Teddy, I got a lot of respect for Teddy Bridgewater because I think he's a winner in this league. And man, he'll hurt you in play action pass. He's going to be smart with the football. They can, even what happened last week now, they can possess the ball. And you know, so you know, we got our hands full defensively.
And the running game has been a strong suit for the Denver Broncos, but it matches up well against the Detroit Lions. If you think about what the Lions have been and what they haven't allowed, with the exception of Najee Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Nick Chubb, who is the second best running back when somebody else is healthy, that being Derrick Henry, they haven't allowed a lot of rushing yards this year. Those only 2 running backs that have gone over 100 yards. They're what, 10-1, 12-game sample size of not being able, of not allowing running backs to rush on them. That spells well for the Lions. So if you're a guy if you're a Teddy Bridgewater guy that they don't use to pass the ball a lot, you're going to have to make some plays in the passing games because Derek Barnes and Aaron Glenn in that defense of the Detroit Lions, that's one thing they don't give up. They don't give up the rushing yards.
You know, Aaron Glenn's all over this game. He's telling his defense, we got to hold them to under 20 again.
This is a circle-a-date game for the Detroit Lions, and not to cut you off, Maz, this is a huge win. Regardless of what you say about the inconsistencies, the Broncos start off 3-0. The Broncos have beat some good teams. The Broncos are a staple. They're a big name. They're a big-name team. They're a good franchise. This is a long road trip all the way out to Denver. To get a win in Denver in December and be 2-0, this would be a hell of a win for the Detroit Lions, especially Aaron Glenn.
I just don't know how they're going to score points.
Right.
You know, you look at this Denver defense and what they did to Patrick Mahomes last week. I mean, I think Kansas City scored 29 points, but 7 of them were on a pick 6 defensive touchdown. So they basically went on the road and held Patrick Mahomes in that high-flying Kansas City Chiefs offense to 20, 22 points, something like that. And oh, by the way, there was a muffed punt in that game where Kansas City got a short field and scored a touchdown. So they really did a number against Patrick Mahomes in that Kansas City Chiefs offense. I don't know where the Lions' offense is going to come from in this one.
If this was Kansas City Chiefs that we were talking about from last year or the year before last or the year before that, or even coming into the season where we thought they were, keep in mind, this is the second game in a row Mahomes hasn't had a touchdown. So this isn't a team this isn't the offense that we're used to seeing. This isn't the same Kansas City Chiefs offense. This is an offense that is struggling to find identity. They're struggling to try to figure out
what happened to Tyreek Hill?
Where we are. Well, he doesn't have a second wide receiver, and the quarterback isn't sure of himself, which means the offensive coordinator isn't sure of himself, which means guess what? He's not sure of himself. Dropping a lot of passes this year, to your point. But
actually, pardon me, they scored 22 points overall.
Yeah.
7 of them were on so they held the Kansas City Chiefs to 15 points.
But the Kansas City Chiefs has been holding themselves all season. I think the Lions are 100%. I think the Lions are catching them at the right time because it seemed like they were figuring out when they started on their 5-game winning streak, they had 40 points. They were scoring some touchdowns. Mahomes was figuring it out but still throwing interceptions. These last 3 games, they can't seem to find the end zone. They can't seem to put points on the board. They can't seem to put yards in the stat sheet. The Lions are catching them at a very good time.
We're going to transition to college football next. Yep, absolutely. We're going to transition to some college football next. Bryce Young wins the AP Player of the Year. We're going to look at the last 10 AP Players of the Year awards in that and give you a sense of where that young man stacks up in terms of the list of winners there. Also, Aidan Hutchinson spoke about, possibly being a member of the Detroit Lions. You'll hear what he has to say regarding that. We'll do it all next. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With mortgage interest rates unbelievably low, the stakes to find your new home have never been higher. And that's why Hall Financial's exclusive realtor network allows us to connect you with a top-rated realtor in your area, making sure you take on the housing market and win. Hall Financial has earned over 4,000 5-star reviews because of our technology and our commitment to closing your loan fast. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Want to find out how you can start a job or a career, better yet a career, in an industry that is always essential?
Need a career?
Hey, you got to have a career nowadays, man. The taxes have gone up, prices have gone up. Amazon sky high. You got to have a career to pay for some of those Amazon bills. Guess what? I'm talking about the heating and cooling industry, always essential. Visit northwesterntech.edu right now. You can find out how to make $77,000, and this is just out the gate. It only goes up from there. Visit northwesterntech.edu.
Shout out to Alex Mayer. I love these camera shots.
Yes,
that
sir.
you're
I love
using.
this new angle, man. He's been working.
This young man over here has been working on these shots. He comes in here every day, and he works, and he works, and he works, and he works.
Not to mention, I was kind of in the back, looking at some last-minute research, trying to get ready for the show. And he came back there, he got my butt out the room and told me to get in the studio. So I love it when individuals take shots. Shout out to Alex Mayer, taking charge, got me in the studio. Don't ever do it again, though.
He could be such a
joking.
contributor on the air, too, but his responsibilities off the air sometimes go unnoticed by the listening audience or the viewing audience, and I just want to make sure that he gets his just due today.
You guys want to know what Alex Mayer is going to be doing tonight?
Hey, we were talking about Alex Mayer. See, stop trying to rear your little head over
Fish
there.
wanted to love to stop.
You saw that?
Fish is like, nope, I got to stop
hater.
this Alex Mayer love.
Fish is a little hater, man.
Fish is like, nope, can't do it.
Hey, what about me?
I'm here with my family.
You here with your family?
I'm here with my family.
Is that what Alex is going to be doing with his family?
I'm here with my family.
I assume so. I hope so.
Alex,
I'm here
just
with
wanted
my family.
to let you know that we certainly appreciate you and your efforts here at Woodward Sports at the
Definitely.
bottom line.
And I appreciate you guys just as equal. What
Certainly.
Fish is trying to say is yesterday during the show, I texted him. I was like, we need to get the Brian Kelly here with my family on the soundboard. So every time we say family, Fish is going to be, yep, there you go. So
Okay, Fish.
Don't wear it
that's
out
enough.
now, Fish. Come on, it's new. Say
Maz,
it
you
now.
got to coach him up on that.
That's
okay,
enough,
buddy?
Fish. Thank you.
Very good.
The Denver Broncos. Go ahead.
Let's talk about
I
some
digress.
college
Where'd that
football
go
now.
from?
Bryce Young, the Associated Press College Football Player of the Year. Let's throw it up on the screen and just talk about this, because the one thing about this, which I found very interesting, and you're getting a look at all of the players who won that award. I think all of them ended up winning the Heisman Trophy, if I'm not mistaken. Devontae Smith,
except
Joe
Christian
Burrow,
McCaffrey.
Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson. Christian McCaffrey did not. That's
But he
true.
was runner-up.
Marcus Mariota, I don't.
Yes, he did.
He did
won.
win it, yep. And then Jameis Winston and Johnny Manziel. Johnny Football.
Each
Man,
one.
there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. But the interesting part about this
Cleveland Browns.
AP Player of the Year award, do you know who finished second
This season?
this season?
Who did?
Aidan Hutchinson finished second over Kenny Pickett and over C.J. Stroud.
Oh, wow.
And it got me to thinking.
What did it get you to thinking?
Uh-oh.
Is Aidan Hutchinson going to finish second in the Heisman?
I think so.
Because I thought Hutchinson was
Happy to be there.
If I'm just being honest with you, best player on one of the best teams in the country. Let's bring him to
New York.
Yeah, and he'll get the fourth place. Is he going to be the second place in the Heisman Trophy?
So listen, if he is, it makes sense. I'll tell you why. The Heisman Trophy used to go to the best player in the country on the best team in the country, or it went to at least a player that was the best player on his team. A conference championship winning team. You look what Aidan Hutchinson has done in the big moments towards the end of the season. Now, he started off a little slow early on in the year, but he was wreaking havoc all season in other ways. Hell of a run stopper. Doesn't get enough credit he deserves for being a run stopper by fans and pundits. But you look at the Penn State game. They needed him the most because that's the game Michigan struggled on offensively until the end of the game when Eric All made the play. Great call by Josh Gaddis. That's why he's Assistant Coach of the Year. But 3 sacks in that game to even hold them close. The Michigan State game, he had 2 sacks, and then he had one that was taken away. Ohio State game, they needed him to wreak havoc so that they could beat Ohio State, who had a hell of a passing game in C.J. Stroud. Another 3 sacks. You look at the Iowa game in the Big Ten Championship. He had 1 sack. But how many points did Iowa score?
3.
They were all over the place defense. Man, he's not the only guy on that defense, but when I tell you, the guy that represents will always represent. Like, he's got to represent that defense. C.J. Stroud's got to represent that offense. Like, he makes the biggest plays against the rivals when everybody's watching. Highest 3-watch games this year. Penn State, Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan. The whole country saw him every week towards the end. Winning mattered. Like, nobody knew who Kenny Pickett was until the last 3 weeks of the season, but even still.
And it's the gaudy numbers from Pickett, too.
And they happen late.
Breaking Dan Marino's records that stood since the early 80s.
And if I'm an individual that is paying attention to Michigan, and I'm kind of like I'm just analyzing games, how many times did Aidan Hutchinson sit out the second half of a game? How many times did he not play the fourth quarter? So now you add that into the mix. If they just wanted him to have gaudy numbers and didn't care about him getting hurt, Aidan Hutchinson could easily have had 23 sacks this season.
For defensive players, for defensive players, not often. For defensive players, statistics don't tell the whole story.
Not at all.
I firmly believe that. I just think it's interesting that he finished second in the AP Player of the Year award. Actually, C.J. Stroud was fifth. Will Anderson, the Alabama linebacker, was fourth. So that's a name that we've heard before. Why didn't he get invited to the Heisman Trophy award? Because he does have really good numbers on a really great team. There's very few times, if ever. I mean, I know Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush, but you're going to have two players from the same team.
Two things. One, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, as well as Jason White and Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson's freshman year, he was at the Heisman with Jason White, quarterback that won it the year before. But with Will Anderson in all their big games, their rival games, he has one sack. LSU 1 sack. Florida 1 sack. Auburn with a backup quarterback who was gimpy, by the way, 1 sack. When people were watching, 1 sack, didn't dominate games. All his major dominance was against Mercer, was against Southern Miss, was against school, Lafayette, Louisiana. Who cares about that? What happens in the big games? What do you do in the big moment? The other thing, which is random and ironic, when I was leaving the parking structure the other day, I had on my Michigan Letterman coat, and I called Maz and I called Alex on speaker. I said, guess what just happened? As I was with my Letterman, guy said, oh, man, you're wearing the right colors. Wait, are you Braylon Edwards? I was like, yeah. Well, you know my grandson. He's up for the Heisman. I was like, Aidan Hutchinson's your grandson? That could be an omen.
No way.
That's a random omen. The day after it was announced that he's up for the Heisman, I run into his. Now I hope it was his grandfather, but I can't see a jovial, nice human being like that lying about being Aidan's grandfather.
Could have been his uncle too.
Nah, he was old. It was. It definitely was. Could have been. It should have been his grandfather.
You know the one
it's
thing.
An omen.
One thing about that stuff that's funny is like, I am 43 years old, and now I feel like I think J.J. McCarthy's dad is my age. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm 16. I feel like I'm that freshman at Michigan still at 18 years old when they won the national championship, and I'm like, where did the time go? Like, am I getting that old?
You gotta look at their driver's license.
Oh my
It'll let you know the truth.
I do. I look at it, I'm like, what is going on?
I can't wrap my head around my age anymore. I can't. I just can't.
I don't know what it is.
But you're still a kid at heart.
You're still a kid at heart, right? In this game, this game keeps you so young because of our love for it.
And our kids.
And our kids and the fandom. And I just bought my kids all kinds of Michigan gear for the game on the 31st. You know, and it's just like, oh, it's so great. You know, we should have probably saved it for Christmas, but I was so excited last night. I opened the bags. I was like, "Look, kids, look what came!"
Just take the other stuff back.
Yeah.
just take the other stuff back.
But I mean, it's just like one of those things where you're like, I'm so excited about this whole Michigan year, right? I mean, from the beginning of it when you had hope, to the middle of it where you're like, these guys are pretty good. Even through the Michigan State game where you were crushed, but you were like, you know what? It's not over yet. They responded. The Ohio State win, the Big Ten championship win. You got Hutchinson for the Heisman. I mean, it's just all kind. And of course, he's not going to win it, but it is nice to talk about it for a week.
Never say never. But also the same on Michigan State. Michigan State looks at the season that they had last year. I believe they were 2-4 or 2-5. Yeah, they had a big win against Northwestern. They had a big win against Michigan, but they still only were 2-5. They come into the season, they don't know about Mel Tucker. They don't know what they have. They're very leery. No one was excited for the season outside of just being able to go to a game because of COVID last year. And now you get Michigan State. They beat Michigan at home. They have Kenneth Walker, who's leading the leading the Heisman for a long time. They're 10-2. They're playing in the New Year's Six Bowl. They have Kenneth Walker, who's gonna win the Doak, who's up for the Maxwell as well. They have a great team and they have a great future ahead of themselves. So it has been the same for them as well as Michigan fans. They didn't win the Big Ten championship, but damn, they had a really good year, and they could finish 11-2 with a Doak Walker winner and a Maxwell winner. So you know what? Same for Michigan State. Yeah,
it's just been a great college football season around here, and now I think you got to look at it, and we'll talk Michigan State against Pitt coming up a little bit later on, but now you got to think, Michigan State should end up winning that game and having 11 wins, especially with Kenny Pickett
against their old coach, their old defensive coordinator.
That's right. Narduzzi is in there. You're going to hear from Aidan Hutchinson next segment talking about playing for the Detroit Lions, playing possibly for the Houston Texans. And then after that, you'll hear what Hutch says about that. I've got to ask you guys a question about Michigan fans that was brought to my attention today. I just want to have a little fun for a second and ask you an honest question about people like me. We'll
do you want to ask the question now and prep it for the commercial?
Are we insufferable? Are Michigan fans insufferable?
In this current state.
In this current, where we are right now, during this kind of college football euphoria. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. I can't wait to see the answers. There should be a poll.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
All right, gang. Hey, let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men.
Please do.
I will tell you why I'm wearing the hat today. It's because I didn't come in, sit down, and get it all tidy and clean. Ooh-wee. I'm telling you, my goodness. I saw Jamie out there today. Jamie's here today. So if you want to come on in, oh, good Lord. Please, come on in. Lady Jane's, we're a simple bunch. We like football. We like the television remote. And we like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Multiple locations. Where, Fish?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. In just about every state in our union.
All 50 of them.
Not all 50, but pretty darn close. I believe like 30. I think we're in 30,
Mike
okay?
off.
Very good. We're working on 50, but all that good stuff. Lady Jane's, walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Ooh-wee. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Wicked awesome. All right, guys. Many people believe that Aidan Hutchinson would be the perfect fit for the Detroit Lions with the #1 overall pick, assuming the Detroit Lions have the #1 overall pick.
They won't.
He did speak, Maz.
They won't.
You think they're going to win 3 or 4 games?
Yeah. I know they are.
Well, just in case they don't. Okay. ESPN Houston, the Wheelhouse, got a chance to speak with Aidan Hutchinson. He won the Lombardi Award trophy last night.
Had to go out there to get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he speaks with the Wheelhouse. ESPN Houston had this to say about being drafted potentially by the Detroit Lions.
Play for the Texans.
Hey, I've got to follow up with this because I know you're from Michigan, and another team that's in the running for your services, if you will, is the Detroit Lions. Did you grow up a Lions fan? Like, was that a dream of yours growing up to play for the hometown team?
Growing up, it was a little bit hard being a Lions fan.
I believe it.
The Lions have been struggling for a while.
It still is hard being a Lions fan, I'm sure.
Yeah. I actually grew up a Patriots fan just with Tom Brady and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I never really loved the Lions too much, but hey, if they pick me, they're getting it all. So.
Okay, now we're gonna compare that.
He sounds so excited.
Yeah, right. We're gonna compare.
So
I was
excited.
actually a little dejected
You
by
should be.
that.
You should be.
But here's what he had to say about being potentially picked by the Houston Texans, who would be the number 2 pick. And so many times, if you're looking at NFL draft stock right now, they have Thibodeau 1, Hutchinson 2, or Hutchinson 1, Thibodeau 2, because Houston and Detroit both need defensive ends.
Yeah, it would definitely be cool to be in Houston. I got a bunch of family here, like I said earlier, and my dad's from here, so it would be nice, and we'll see.
So here's the deal. You think that he's gleaming there?
Well, no. He did talk about being in Houston. He has family there.
Yeah,
and you can just tell. There's more cuts. I heard the whole interview. He is definitely, and he's playing to the audience.
That's what I was going to say.
But he was much more excited about talking about Houston at that point than about the Lions. That's okay. You know what? Do you blame him?
No. Well. Actually, I don't know who's worse, Houston or
where would you rather play?
Detroit.
You want to play in Detroit or you want to play in Texas?
Yeah, because Houston's a mess.
I think you guys are reading too much into this, especially you, Maz. At the end of the day, he goes to what institution? The University of Michigan.
Yeah, he's born and raised here.
The smarts that you have to be at the institution of the University of Michigan.
If you're smart, you don't want to play for the Lions.
This is an individual that knows the game. His father knows the game. He knows the game. His head coach knows the game. He has coaches on the staff that know the game. He's an individual that says, hey, you never know who's going to have the number 1 pick. You want to just be nice to everybody. Hey,
of course.
You want to show, hey, I would love to play for the Houston Texans. You don't want to be that guy. It works for some people. Just ask Eli Manning and his family. But you don't want to come off that way. So he legitimately is like, hey, we'll love to. What did he say about the Lions? They will get everything I have. He looked excited to go to Houston. Hell, I'd be excited to go to a warm weather place as well after playing for Michigan. But he just knows the game, and that's it. Don't take any more, any less.
Let me ask you a question. Does a guy like Aidan Hutchinson, and scrap the fact that the Lions are bad, okay, scrap that. Does a guy like Aidan Hutchinson want to play at home, or is it easier to go play somewhere else? Would Braylon Edwards have wanted to play for the Detroit Lions, or would you have just wanted to, because of all the distractions, everybody wants tickets, people want you to do this, your childhood friend down the block, you got to go to his kid's birthday party. There's so many responsibilities that a player has playing at home. Is it easier just to go play somewhere else?
So 2 things about that. One, it depends on where that other place is. If I'm looking at the Detroit Lions as the one, or if I'm looking for the Detroit Lions are in it with them versus a Jacksonville, I could care less. It's a toss-up. I'd rather stay home. But also you have to look at an individual that is 22 years old versus an individual that's 38, and I now know everything that came with. I mean, I learned from, rest in peace, God bless his soul, Chuck Rogers. I watched him playing for the Detroit Lions destroyed his career, plus injuries. He got injured a lot. But because he got injured, he didn't work out hard. He was always with his people. They were up in Saginaw. They're too close. I was able to watch that, and I said, thank God. I mean, I was down the street in Cleveland, but I learned from Chuck. Let's leave it there. So knowing what I know, I wouldn't want to play at home. I wouldn't want to play at home because of everything you named. I had a lot of family here, a lot of friends here. It would have been a SHIT show.
Yeah.
It would have been that type of show, and I wouldn't want that. But as a young individual, it's where are the options? Who's fighting for it? Is it Detroit and Green Bay, who would never be fighting for number 1? Is it Detroit and the Los Angeles Rams? Is it Detroit and a bad Buffalo team? It depends on who's fighting if you would want to stay at home at 22 versus go somewhere else.
Did Chuck ever reach out to you?
I hung out with him all the time. When I was at Michigan, I used to always come down. He would pick me up in his G-Wagon. He was the first cat here that had G-Wagon. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't, corporate America. Pick him up in the G-Wagon. We would go down to Envy. We go down to Excess, the Candy Bar. We go to, clubs. We go to concerts. And he would just take out and show love, man. He took the brotherhood to heart, man, of playing ball, man. He's one of the best guys that God ever created, man. No
what
BS.
A shame, man.
No BS.
The damn collarbone. If he kept playing,
and
staying out of trouble.
Plus, he played for a team that like you remember what Marcus said when he came on the show. Marcus Pollard, shout out to Marcus Pollard, my brother-in-law. You talked about how in disarray the organization was. You saw Mike Williams never wanted to work out. He was fat as hell. Players didn't want to come in. Shawn Rodgers was one of the best talents I've ever seen in my life.
He was.
But you saw he didn't want to put the work in. But who wants to put the work in when you got the program and the organization that they had? So they all fell prelude to a kiss. All of them. It's not just Chuck. All of them.
And back then, too, those first-round picks, were making a crap ton of money. They weren't, you know what I mean? They weren't making what the guys are making now, where you need that second contract. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Matt Stafford. He made like $60 million being the first overall pick. They don't do that anymore.
The difference between the first pick in the draft and the second pick in the draft is like $1.6 million.
Yeah.
So if you're picked first, that $1.6 million is yours. If you pick second and you go to a team that you'd rather go to, but you're throwing that $1.6 million away, and then we talked about it, whoever gets you, got you for 5 years. And it made me think when Ndamukong Suh was picked here, we all heard the rumors that he didn't want to play here.
Yeah.
His sister, you knew her, Ngum.
Yep.
He basically played out his years here, and he left. And I understand the rules changed when the Lions had the big three. When the Lions had Calvin, Matthew, and Ndamukong Suh, the NFL changed the rules. In other words, they couldn't keep all three of those guys fed like you can now. And before that, you could have kept all three fed. The Lions really, I'll say it, they're the most unlucky team ever, because if the guy stays here, who knows what the heck happens with that team. I'm just saying, if you don't want to come here, let's say Hutch doesn't want to come here, and they're interviewing him, do you go with a guy like maybe Tibbs wants to come here? Do you go that way because of what you think the player is thinking?
You take the best player, period.
But they're both excellent. One guy stays on the field more than the other guy so far in his college career. We don't know how it's going to work out in the pros, but what do you do, Bray?
So the interesting thing about that, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think Aidan Hutchinson's a better player in terms of all around than Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau is a pure pass rusher. He doesn't want anything to do with the run. He wants to stay outside, and there are a lot of guys like that in the NFL. I look at Aidan Hutchinson. Aidan doesn't want to leave the field. Aidan is like running. I'll stop the run. I'll move over. I could do these things. He reminds me of an individual, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt was a hell of an outside rusher. Has some of the, in terms of 10 years, he had more sacks in 10 years than almost Derek Thomas. Rest in peace, another great, gone too soon. But he also can stop the run. But what happened with J.J.? Once he got to about year 11, Dave, shout out to my boy Dave Logan in the studio, year 11, here's an injury. Here's another injury. J.J. Watt has 4 season-ending injuries in his career, not to mention being banged up 2 or 3 other seasons. That's because you never leave the field. When you don't leave the field, you're more, especially at that size and where you're playing in the trenches, you're more susceptible to injuries. When you're a guy just playing on the outside, you can play a lot longer because you're not playing as many snaps. You're not necessarily trying to stop the run, which means you're not worrying about a ragdoll trying to come out there and maul you in the inside. So that's another thing you have to think about. Do I want the guy on the outside that's going to play less snaps, but he can cause just as much havoc? Or do I want the guy that wants to be in there all the time, who's now more susceptible to injuries, i.e. J.J. Watt?
It's up to the coaching staff, too. If you want to get him out of the game, you get him out of the game.
Yeah, but if
you can protect your guy.
If he's that freaking dominant, it's hard to take him off the field, even if you're trying to protect him, because it's like, dang, we want to spell him. But, man, he gets it. He gets it.
You just call him Ryan Ermanni. Never wants to come off the field.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta support it. I gotta support it.
Yeah, baby.
I gotta support it.
I never want to come off the field ever. Sit next to the Bolitnikoff winner in 2004.
Man, it was a long time ago. Long time ago.
Guys, I want to get to some NFL, but I will ask that question. Well, I'll pay that question off. Am I insufferable right now? I got to ask you guys that. We didn't get a chance to it after a quick deviation. Plus, AFC, NFC, current playoff matchups when we come back. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
Woodward Sports. This part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We've got Alex Mayer and Fish. We're talking about Aidan Hutchinson and if he wanted to, play here in Detroit. You heard the sound, but he said, I really wasn't a Lions fan. I was more of a Patriots fan growing up because of Tom Brady, but if they pick me, they're going to get all of me. And I think that's really the point too, Maz, is a guy like Aidan Hutchinson, does he even want to play at home because of the distractions of, little Billy Bob down that he knew in third grade at Plymouth. His kid's having a birthday party on Saturday. Hey, can you sneak out? Can you grab a couple of guys? Can you come to my kid's birthday party and jump out of the cake? There's a million distractions when you are playing NFL ball in your hometown.
And our peeps on YouTube reminded me of this. Dan Campbell said, and we remember him. He said, we want guys that want to be here, that want to play here for Detroit. They didn't go after Odell Beckham. They could have, but they didn't because he don't want to play here. They could have went after a few players this year in the free agency, but they know they don't want to play here. You want a guy that wants to come here and sell out, like Cade Cunningham. Let's take him for instance. He come and he said, I want to go to Detroit. I want to build with Detroit from the ground up. We talked about this guy.
That's very big,
it's important.
Cade Cunningham wanting to play here.
It's important.
But at the same time, don't miss the mark on that. The reason why he wanted to come here, one, it is a great city, but it's the number one pick overall.
I get it.
Everybody wants to be number one. Nobody wants to be two, okay? Like, yes, you're excited.
Eli Manning did.
Exactly, and Eli went for one.
Yeah, but he went
one.
He begged the Chargers not to take him, though.
But they knew they had leverage in their last name. He knew they had leverage in the last name. At the end of the day, when you're young, you just want to get in the NFL. Yeah. So it's not like an Odell Beckham who's an established veteran not to choose here. It's different when you're young. It's different when you're trying to get to the NFL. You're happy to go You're happy to go wherever the hell you can go at that point. I wanted to say something I forgot. Go back to what we were talking about, the insufferableness.
Yeah, the insufferableness. I will. I want to read this one text.
Go ahead.
The NFC. This is from Spaceboy. The NFC North is in transition with Aaron Rodgers coming near the end of his career. The Bears have nothing. Kirk Cousins is not for long. What does that leave? Watson to the Lions. Would you trade the number one overall pick to Houston?
Yes,
if
he's
for
free.
Deshaun Watson?
If he's a free man?
Yeah.
I told you that a million times.
Yeah.
You said you would?
Would you trade both your first-round picks to Houston for Deshaun Watson?
I don't want to, but if I had to, I would.
So you get Watson in that second-round pick, maybe, that you could just, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Who's he throwing the ball to, though?
Quintez Cephas and Josh Reynolds.
You're going to draft a receiver.
I guess you still have Hawkinson at tight end. You still have Ragnow, Taylor Decker, and Penei Sewell. You have Jamal Williams, and you have DeAndre Swift. It's interesting. It's a conversation to be had.
Yeah,
it's a conversation to be had. I just think he's missed a year, which is tough. Like, he'll get it back, but it's tough to miss a year. I just say you got to start fresh. I wouldn't. I would have a while ago, but now more I think about I wouldn't.
Whether it's Watson or not, okay, and
he's 26. By the way,
we can save the Deshaun Watson talk for another day. The point of the reason why I wanted to read it, and it was a great
take.
Good
heck
take,
of a take.
Is that you can't be wrong on any of these picks because the NFC North is up for grabs in the next 2 years. The Packers, and we had Wayne Larrivee on earlier this season. The Packers went all in this year. This is their last year to make a run at a Super Bowl. And really, you never know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams at the end of this season. So the Packers could be. Kirk Cousins is not a very good quarterback. The Bears are in total disarray.
I disagree with that. I like Kirk Cousins.
Well, you might like him, but he's just hasn't been able to get it done in Minnesota. I mean, they made it to the NFC Championship game.
Zimmer's fault.
Yeah, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Kirk Cousins playing tonight 8-17. There's the stat in primetime games. He has
320, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they lose the game to the Detroit Lions. That is darn near not his fault.
Yeah, so bottom line is that there's no real dominant team coming up here that you're afraid of, so you can't be wrong with any of these picks. And if you're talking about Hutchinson or Thibodeau, you better take the better guy, regardless who wants to be here and who doesn't want to be here. Take that better guy, because I'll tell you this much. Ndamukong Suh, he may not wanted to have been here in Detroit, but that dude played his tail off each and every week.
He changed the team.
And was as dominant a player in the NFL at that time when he played here for the Detroit Lions as you will find.
They talked about us.
And was a Heisman finalist, since we're talking about Heisman finalists. Go ahead and throw that
so
out there.
I just wanted to point that out. Very good.
They talked about us nationally when Ndamukong Suh was here.
So, guys, I wanted to ask you about this because I saw this. This was a friend of mine sent me this article. It's in the Wall Street Journal today, and it was written by a writer for the Washington. Of course, now I just lost it. Here it is. It was written by a gentleman by the name of Jason Gay. He ended up, as it turns out, went to the University of Wisconsin, and apparently he says, just going to read this. Let's just get this out of the way. I need to move to another country, preferably a remote island without electricity, television, or access to the internet. My colleagues are singing the victors on Zoom calls. They're debating whether or not they should buy tickets to the semifinal versus Georgia or wait until they play Alabama. So he goes on, and it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek article, but he goes on to say that everybody at the Wall Street Journal that went to Michigan is totally insufferable right now. So it got me to think, are we that bad?
No.
Are we in your face constantly about this because we have not been, near the top of the college football landscape? How is it to be around a Michigan fan right now?
This is what I would say. Michigan is used to up until 2004, and you can even go to 2006, because in 2006, Michigan was number 2 behind Ohio State, and they lost that game, and then they lost USC in the Rose Bowl. So let's say up until 06, the history of Michigan, we have been great. We have been powerhouses. We are used to Big Tens, Heisman Trophy winners, big moments, big plays, Fab Five. List goes on. But all those other sports, the sport that made it work, even with the Fab Five, was football. So now you take away lifeblood, and from 2006 to 2021, we have to listen to everyone destroy us nationally. They have destroyed us and been happy to do so nationally for 15 years. We weren't even the best team in our own state anymore. Michigan State took over and dominated us. That's right, Alex, I said it. Dominated us, and it wasn't even close.
Some may claim that we're
they
still
were
not.
insufferable.
Then they were, well, they've always been insufferable. Even when they lose, they're insufferable. The fan base is. So you had to listen to that. You had to realize this new truth. You had to realize this new identity. Then you bring in Jim Harbaugh. He's the guy to turn it all around. Guess what? Not so fast. We still can't win no Big Ten. We still can't beat Ohio State. We still are splitting games with Michigan State. You have to go from being a great winning brand for 100+ years to now all of a sudden you have to deal with everybody. And it's not like, think about Miami. Miami's not relevant. They don't get national scrutiny. Texas has been struggling for years. Their national scrutiny is to a minimum. Michigan has been facing national scrutiny for years. We are not insufferable because we deserve it. Now, if we go on after, we win a national championship for another 2 years, then yes. But Michigan's always been good winners. That's the other part about it. Michigan don't rub it in your face when they win because they're used to winning. Now we haven't been used to winning, so it's like, oh, shoot, what is this? Now they're being insufferable. I don't think they're being insufferable. I don't think we're insufferable right now. We are being insufferable because we deserve to.
My girl Patty P on YouTube.
What's Patty?
Does that make any type of sense, by the way?
Patty? We're not insufferable. We're arrogant, remember? LOL.
That's funny, man. You know what? I'm having so much fun right now just being a Michigan fan.
You should
I really am. Like,
you waited so
I'm
long.
having a time of my life right now.
20 years.
Buying gear, wearing my Michigan hats all over the place.
Did you get that from Walmart?
No, I got this.
Oh man, what a hater!
I'm
Look
joking.
at that guy.
It's a joke.
man.
I'm joking.
We're
That's what they.
joking, too.
That's what they call.
I actually got this. I got
That's
this
Jordan.
from the M Den.
It's got Jordan logo on it last time I checked.
This was like one of the first, right at the M Den, right there in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, think of how many 4-year students haven't seen Michigan win.
Crazy, man.
Like, kids 06, so you're 21, you're talking 20 years since you've seen Michigan win. How many kids have gone to school and not seen Michigan win?
Freshman
how many
Michigan
kids
right now.
How many kids don't know what it's like to beat Ohio State?
Freshman at Michigan.
Exactly. Win a Big Ten championship. Go through that. Kids have been born. It's crazy if you just think about that, how long it's been since they beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten. And also, I think another thing is, and my thought came back to me, it's all happening at the same time. It'd be different if it was one at a time. Maybe this year we don't win the Big Ten, but we beat Ohio State. Then maybe next year, you win Ohio State and you win the Big Ten. And then maybe that third year you beat Michigan State and Ohio State, and you win the Big Ten, and you get into the playoffs. Everything is happening at the same time. It's overwhelming for Michigan fans.
Right.
You got Ohio State win, a Big Ten championship, playoffs, all within 2 weeks.
Right.
And the potential to beat Georgia and go to the national championship against Bama, all that will have happened within a month and within 5 weeks. It is
so
overwhelming.
great.
That's the problem.
It's so great.
Yeah.
I'm having a time of my life right now. Alex?
You think the YouTube audience said as far as our Michigan fans insufferable?
1,000%, yes.
It's actually 58% say no and 42% say yes.
Ooh. So there you go.
I stand corrected.
And we certainly appreciate everybody on our YouTube chat right now. Thanks so
Good
much.
stuff,
I see
Alex.
Henry, CJ, Alex, Fletch.
Just to name a couple.
Cody, Benjamin, CJ.
Tammy, the Patties.
Tammy, Patty, Joey, YT, Rob, Vinny, Ballhawk. Mike.
Ballhawk.
Oh, man, I love it. Benjamin,
Where's
go,
Detroit Dabber?
Josh.
It's
Man,
our family.
I'll tell you, thank you guys so much on this chat. I
Keep it
see
up,
old
Fish.
names. I see new names. We're growing this thing. And please stop that. Jesus Christ. Please stop that. It's a terrible cut, too. The audio on it sucks.
That's the only audio there is.
Oh.
That's actually, I'm not lying. I search and search.
Well,
Well, it was the only audio there is.
Making a heartfelt
Yes,
a plea to our listening audience.
Shut your mic
But we're
off,
talking
Fish.
to our family.
Family.
Jeez. Ermanni and Edwards.
What was Sports
Hour
Network,
number 2.
Bottom line.
Stay out.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Everybody, it's Maz for the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. Your great hosts, Chris and Noni Hutt. Make sure you say hi to them and look on the wall because you probably see a plaque for the Woodward Sports champion folders.
Come on, say it out loud.
Ryan Ermanni and Braylon Edwards,
what's
the
up.
champions.
That's what we do, man.
They got the cheap bye week.
All we do
to
is
get
win
in,
championships.
get into the semifinals,
That's what
but they
we do,
somehow figured out a win anyway. Folding is literally throwing a football at bowling pins. You can do it with your friends. You can do it with the team members. Any way you want to do it. 2 ways to play. $10 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. They have over 100 beers and that $2 mystery beer machine.
What would you get, Braylon?
Billy D. Williams, baby. Colt 45.
He brought the Colt 45.
That's my Billy D voice.
Sawyer, he brought a Pabst Blue Ribbon. He got a PBR out of there. They got multiple full bars as well. You bring the food. or have it delivered. Come get your foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
That is correct. Hour number 2 of the Thursday show, December 9th. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, having a lot of fun here today. Braylon, I want to get into some NFL talk right now because there's a game tonight that will feature a 6-6 Pittsburgh Steelers team. Yep. And, of course, the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams need the win to stay in the playoff hunt. But let's take a look right now at the playoff matchups if the season ended today. And we are more than 3/4 through the season. So we'll start the AFC. The number 1 seed is the New England Patriots, and then you go down the road. The 2-7 is Tennessee Buffalo. The 3-6 is Baltimore and Cincinnati, and the 4-5 matchup is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers.
I feel like the Titans and Buffalo have played each other 92 times in the last 2 years.
And don't forget the Music City Miracle.
My God.
So this would go. Do they reseed after this now? Is that the new playoff format?
Well, the number 1 would get the lowest seeded.
That's
remaining.
what I mean.
Yeah,
it's
number
not,
1 would get the lowest seed.
Yeah. So it's not like a bracket.
No, they
style.
do it the right way.
Yeah, they do it the right way.
They're the NFL.
That's right. In the AFC, or excuse me, in the NFC.
Yes, sir.
In the NFC, the Arizona Cardinals are the number 1 seed.
The Redbirds.
The Green Bay Packers 2-7 matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. This would be a repeat of last year's playoff matchup. The 3-6 game is Tampa Bay and Washington. And, of course, the 4-5 matchup. This would be the game of the week as far as I'm concerned. 4-5, Cowboys, Rams, and I got the boys in that one.
Arizona Cardinals, by the way, are the number 1 seed in the whole entire NFL. That would be a hell of a game, man. And it's funny, they're playing mirror styles right now. Rams are struggling, but they got a good win. Cowboys are struggling, they got a good win. And which Jerry Jones spilled some beans, but we'll get to that later. That would be a game, man. That would be the game. You're talking about nothing but talent, but a lot of non-discipline and a lot of bad coaching at times that can destroy either one of those teams. It'd be interesting.
Let's pick the seeds. Let's pick. Let's start in the AFC. All
Colts.
Right? First game.
Colts.
First game. You got Buffalo and Tennessee. We all take them Buffalo, right? Because Tennessee's beaten up.
Something's wrong with Buffalo. Yeah. Something's wrong with Buffalo this year.
I know, but Tennessee.
I'm just talking to you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I think they could beat
You didn't
Tennessee.
have to snap at me, though.
I think they could beat Tennessee, but something's wrong with Buffalo. Buffalo's starting to worry me a little bit.
Is there any word on Derrick Henry? Like when he first got injured and the way they were talking, I was looking for this miraculous T.O. moment. I was looking for this T.O. You come back. Some athletes and individuals are built different. Doctors cannot prescribe what they are. So it's like, oh, you know what? Well, typically this is a 10-week injury. Some guys like, nah.
Well, look at Dalvin Cook. He's playing tonight.
I'm built a little different. Yeah, he'll feel that in about 10 years. But I think I'll take Tennessee too, man, because if you watch Buffalo, the running game has struggled all year, and the running game has just gotten abysmal. You know, I think they gave your boy Josh Allen too much credit early on. Preseason MVP favorite, during the season MVP favorite, and he just hasn't shown me enough to be MVP, and then he's starting to struggle, and it's on him. They keep in mind, they haven't had injuries. Like, they have 3 really, really, really good wide receivers. Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders. Stephon Diggs was the number 1 wide receiver in the league last year. What's going on? What's going on with the Reeds? Is he putting too much pressure on himself? I think he is crumbling, and the defense playing okay. They're not playing. They're not world beaters, but I think they keep going. They keep backsliding.
Can't run the football either.
That's the key.
And it's November. I heard it's December. Damian Woody was talking about it early on the show that he's on. Shout out to Damian Woody, former Detroit Lion, played with a teammate. He said everyone talks about all the high-powered offense and all the quarterback stuff and all the wide receivers and all the interception early on in the year, but it always gets back down to who in December? The big uglies. And the big uglies in that running game for the Buffalo Bills, I'm sorry, they're playing like little boys.
If the season ended today, the 3-6 in the AFC would be the Baltimore Ravens in a home game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Hypothetically speaking, does Lamar Jackson absolutely have to win that game to get a big $40 million contract in the offseason?
I think so, because I think they've been using the fans, and they've been using not fans, they've been using the naysayers and the pundits, and they've been using the losses and the NFL and the inconsistency. They've been using that against giving him that big money. And now you look at him.
0-3 in the postseason.
He's got interceptions in the last 4 games in a row. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's losing games. Like, obviously, T.J. Watt came off the end last week, and it was a heck of a rush on that 2-point conversion. But Lamar Jackson's an MVP quarterback. You can't make excuses. You got to make that throw to Mark Andrews, who's wide open. He got to win that game. I think so. I agree with you. If he wins that game, then, you know.
If he doesn't win that game, I think there are going to be questions. If Lamar Jackson does not win a playoff game,
he's going to take a price hit.
There is going to be questions. Now, again, that could be it. You know, will he make $40 million a year with the Baltimore Ravens, or will he make $30 million a year? I don't think they would possibly not sign him. What are you trying to replace him with?
I think that's the difference between 42 and 37.
Yeah,
that's the difference between $5 million. I think, to be honest.
Maz, you got a thought on that?
No, I think he has to win the game. But the thing is, he's gone backwards in the last 4 or 5 games. He takes a lot of the brunt on himself because he's, like you said, he's self-deprecating. At the end of a game, even if they win the game, he's like, I wasn't good enough. When he threw 4 interceptions, yet they won that game, he said,
rightfully so.
Yeah, he's gotta win a game to get that contract.
They load a lot on his plate, though, and you've seen it all year. Like they blame him for everything. Like they've had a lot of drops. Hollywood Brown has been inconsistent all season. Mark Andrews has been the only consistent. They keep replacing tackles. Like they're down about their 6th right tackle, their 5th left tackle.
Oh, the Ravens have the worst injuries
the
of anybody.
Running back, and they keep putting it all on him. It's like at a barbecue. You go to a barbecue, you get paper plates, and you stack up the paper plate. You put the mashed potatoes on it. You put the salad, the ribs, the chicken, the cornbread, and then that plate starts to do this. Starts to cave in because you put too much on him. They got to stop putting so much on him and help him out.
Guys, the AFC specifically is so jumbled up in terms of playoff. If you look at this board right behind me in these playoff seeds, you know, you've got Buffalo at 7-5. You've got Cincinnati at 7-5. You've got the Chargers at 7-5. 3 of these seeds, 5, 6, and 7, are all 7-5. Right behind them, the the Las Vegas Raiders, 6-6. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 6-5-1. The Miami Dolphins, 6-7.
Good young team.
There's 3 teams within a game and a half of 3 teams.
Did you mention the Colts?
And the Colts are 7-6.
Yeah.
4 teams within a game and a half. So the Colts, the Raiders, the Steelers, and the Dolphins, all within a game and a half of these bottom 3 teams in the AFC. Who's in and who's out?
Yeah.
More importantly, who's out of this playoff, because we fully expect Indianapolis to get in. Got to take a break. Have you that answer on the other side?
I was just going to say that's the NFL, because 2 weeks ago, what were we saying about the NFC? Everybody had a chance for the playoffs except you know who. That the NFL is jumbled up this year.
I got news for you. The Lions can still make the playoffs.
5 games to go. 5 games to go. Maz is going to present the scenario for you.
You know what?
Ermanni and Edwards.
I'm leaving the studio. You can present it to Ryan. Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
It's the Lions pregame show, covering everything you need to know for game day. Join pros and Joes as we cover our hometown Detroit Lions. You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes? Touchdown! What a play! Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet, the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You want to buy a car? They've got one for you. Don't worry about that chip shortage. Just head on in to Michigan Avenue, Les Stanford Chevrolet. That's right, buy a car. And maybe you don't want a Chevy or a Cadillac. You know what? They've got any make, any model on that pre-owned lot as well. Isn't that right, Fish?
All of them. They got all the cars in the world.
That's right. And if you don't want to buy a car, maybe you want to sell them your car, you just drive it on in and you'll walk out with thousands of dollars. It's a pretty simple process. Doesn't matter whether you own the car or lease the car. Maybe you're coming up on your miles. You don't want to go over. You turn your car in a little bit early. Doesn't matter whether you own it or lease it. It is an authorized lease return center is Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Look them up online. All the info is there. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Or call them today, 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000. Les Stanford Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
That's right. Find new roads.
You better find them. Make sure you're on the right side of the road, too.
Guys, having a lot of fun talking a little playoffs here. The
playoffs?
The three bottom seeds in the AFC playoff picture, 5, 6, and 7, are all 7-5. And right behind them on their heels, there's 4 teams within a game and a half. The Indianapolis Colts are one of them. I'm going to go ahead and insert the Indianapolis Colts into the playoffs. I like that. And then go ahead and look at how good they will be in that postseason as well.
Take the Titans out and put the Colts in.
Well, the Titans are the 2 seed.
They're going to fall.
They got a 2-game lead. They got a 2-game lead over the Colts.
The Titans have already beat the Colts
I know.
twice.
That's
the problem.
Yeah,
they beat the Colts twice already.
So who you taking out there?
Jeez.
Who you taking out? The Chargers?
Yeah,
the
Bengals? Chargers and Bengals.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Neither one of them could go.
Yeah.
But, okay, so that's fine. Take the Bengals out. I mean, they got the 49ers, the Broncos, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Browns. Take the Bengals out.
Definitely.
I don't think the Chargers will last either.
So you're going to put 2 teams in.
Well, yeah, there's other teams on there. Like the Raiders can make a run still.
The Raiders could make a run. Let's see what
even
the Chargers
all that
got.
stuff that they went through this year, and they're still hanging in there.
So the Chargers, though, I don't know. Here you go. The Chargers have the Giants, the Chiefs, the Texans.
Oh boy!
So that's 2 wins.
2-1.
Home against the Broncos.
Oh, the Denver
3-1. And then at the Raiders.
Huh.
So the Chargers kind of have the easiest road to hoe.
I'd love to see the Chargers Raiders that last week for the last playoff spot.
Yeah, but the Raiders have a bit of a run. They've got the Chiefs, at the Browns, the Broncos, and at the Colts.
Go ahead and forget about the Steelers. I know we didn't mention them. I think we already have them. I'm looking at their schedule. Yeah, they got this. Yeah, the Vikings, which they could win today. That'd be a good win.
They're going to lose, Bray.
All right, I disagree. But they got the Titans, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Ravens after that, though. All rivals. It's going to be tough for them.
Did you know that the NFL circle has been complete? Maz, do you want to explain this to us as well?
Sure. It's the circle of parity.
Okay. What is the circle of parity?
The circle of parity means the Lions...
Fish, I feel like we should have some dramatic music for Maz explaining to us what the circle of parity
Let's put the circle of parity up there. Now, you'll have to read the circle because I can't really see very well. But it's each team now, after the Lions have beat the Vikings, the Lions completed the circle of parity. And we can take it from the top at 12 noon there, or 12 midnight, and you can go any way with this.
So if you take a look at it...
everybody has beaten everybody around the circle.
Yeah, I can't see that either from the monitor, but so it doesn't really work for our purposes. But the Lions beat the Vikings beat the Seahawks beat the Colts, and so forth.
It goes all the way around. There's the big circle of parity behind us.
There it is behind us, as you see, and the scores. And why do you like this, Maz? I'm still trying to figure out. I want to care about this.
You don't have to care about it.
You have told me about this like 4 or 5 times today.
I'm like watching it.
I'm trying to.
The circle of parity only works if everyone enjoys the circle of parity. If you don't enjoy the circle of parity, then you should probably not have brought it up.
Well, you have told me about this circle of parity.
You still want to fight?
Here we go.
Circle of parity.
There it is. Each team, look at that. I just think it's so cool. You go around the circle, and each team has beat the next team around.
I'm gonna change my tune on this as I'm looking at it, as Maz explained. I think it is kind of cool.
Hey, Bray, come over here and take my mic and go to the big board.
Okay.
All right, here. Take my mic.
I mean, I've wanted to care about this all day. I've wanted to care about this all day.
So I can't hear you guys out there, but you guys can hear me. Check this out. So if you think about on any given NFL year, let's start here, Mass. How often does this happen? Let's start there. How often does this happen?
He don't know.
It doesn't happen. Something like this doesn't happen very often. We're in a given season. Oh, by the way, season's not over. It's 5 weeks left, and this has already happened. You start with the Lions, you go down the list. They beat the Vikings, who beat the Seahawks, who beat the Colts, who beat the Dolphins, who beat the Patriots, who beat the Chargers, who beat the Steelers, who beat the Boys, who beat the Bears, who beat the Bungles, who beat the Raiders, who beat the Ravens. This actually was a really good game early on in the year, overtime if I do remember. Then you go on the Broncos, lost to the Ravens. Broncos beat the Cowboys. Voice is getting dumb, so you see what it is, and goes all the way around.
All the way around.
Goes all the way around until you connect to Matt Stafford.
I really want to care about
Matt Stafford beating his former team, the Detroit Lions. So you know what, Maz? I like it. I like it.
Maz, doesn't this happen every year?
I'm sure it does.
It's not possible to happen every year.
I'm sure it does, Fish. But I thought it was funny that the Lions finally completed the circle of parity.
And who?
Hold on. Obviously, it can't happen every year. Think about 2007. Somebody went undefeated. It can't happen every year.
Yeah, look at that. We got. How about that?
How about winless too? We had the winless Lions and the winless winless Browns.
And I broke my earpiece.
Now, I want to know who would think of something
Field
like
Yates
this.
did that.
Is that what he did?
Yeah. Field Yates of ESPN put that together. That's why I thought it was interesting.
So Maz is going through the rundown with me today.
Let me explain something to people. I have to coax Ryan into doing some of the things that I want to do.
So he's sitting there. He's sitting with me and he says, "Did you see the circle of parity?" And I says,
"What the hell is a circle of parity?"
I said, "I did not see the circle of parity. It wasn't on my early rundown that I click on." And he said, "It wasn't on your rundown that you said." And I said, "No," even though I went back and it was
It's
there.
been on like for 5 days in a row. The circle of parity has been on since Monday.
I'm like, "What's so great about this?" And he says, "Well, every team has beaten every team, and they go around.
Look how cool that graphic is."
And so during one of the breaks where I kind of skim through, because we have these show sheets here where we do, our show.
Show prep meeting.
What we do every 15 minutes or whatever, we come up with a different topic, and if a topic is good, we or if we think it's good, we stick with it. Maybe over the course of conversation, something else will come up, whatever the case may be. So I skipped through Maz's circle of parity on the shot sheet. And he says, Braylon.
Apparently I skipped through it too.
Yeah,
It's the first time hearing of it. But I love it though.
During one of the breaks, he says, "Hey, we got the playoff matchups. We got
He tried to slide it in there.
And we got the circle of parity. We got the circle of parity out there still." So I brought it up. For you. I want you to know that I did this
I
for
know
you.
that, bro. Look, I love the NFL so much that
we know.
Just seeing the logo of the NFL makes me happy.
What is the best logo up there?
Well, the NFL logo is the best. But you know what?
Take that out the equation.
They used to have all 32 stars in there, which pisses me off. They only have the 4 stars, the 8 stars in there now, representing each division in the NFL logo. Used to have all 28 at one point, then 30,
I think
then
it's
32.
more bold though. Like by having 8, it's a little more bold. 32 is a little more dark.
But when I used to draw it as a kid, I used to have to make sure I got every single star.
Doodle?
Oh yeah, I used to doodle. But look at those great NFL logos around that circle. It's just awesome. Do you understand? If you get me like a Christmas gift, I'm gonna be 60 years old.
Okay.
If I get a Christmas gift to open on Christmas Day, and it's got an NFL logo on it, or if it's a football, and I already have like 75 footballs. If you buy me a football, it's like I've hit the pinnacle.
So is that like wink? Is that like wink?
Yeah,
wink?
that's what it is. Wink,
it's
wink.
not
Buy
wink.
me a Christmas present. I want a football.
This is what my family understands about me.
My family.
You can shop for me. It's like shopping for a kid.
I love it.
So, is there any other mascot on there or logo that you can imitate though? Like you do the Detroit Lions.
I can only
Can you do the Dolphins?
Only the Lion. No, I can't do the Dolphins.
What's your favorite logo?
Oh, I used to love the old Tampa Bay Buck. The Buck. Bucko Bruce.
With the sword?
Yeah, with the sword in his mouth. He was the best. The Seahawk is gallant.
No, like current day.
I love the Seahawk. The Seahawk's gallant. The Cardinal was awesome. I like the older Cardinal. The older Cardinal looked like he didn't give a damn about anything. He just stood there. This guy's a little angrier. But I do like him nonetheless. The fleur-de-lis of the Saints is nice. Although they shrunk it on the helmet, they should make it bigger. Bring back the bigger fleur-de-lis.
I think the Broncos always stood out as a good
I like the old Broncos. I don't like this Bronco.
The Dallas Star is
the Dallas Star, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chicago Bears, that C.
What pisses me off about the Steelers is they only have the logo on one side of the helmet.
Maz, I'm going to ask you a question. Braylon, I'm going to ask Maz a question if you don't mind.
Hey, man, this is Maz's segment. I'm chilling, buddy.
Do you want to do the segment of the Lions can make the playoffs, really? Do you want to do that?
Only if you want to do it, and only if you're going to do the reading of it.
I'm going to do the reading of it.
Then let's do it.
We're doing this for Maz today.
Now,
I'm good.
This is survive. They have not been eliminated.
From the postseason.
From the postseason.
This is another one of, hey, did you know that the Lions can still make the postseason, right?
But this is a good topic, though.
Okay.
That's a good topic, though.
Again, I can't read that from the monitor that we're at.
I understand.
So Alex will read this after the break. Ermanni and Edwards.
You mean Maz and Ermanni? Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Sorry, break.
No, you guys are
I'm trying to make you happy today, Maz.
No, we're having a good show. We're having a great show. I was watching.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
For tomorrow, Alex Mayer,
Look at that. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. We are having some fun with Maz today.
We are.
You know, Maz works hard on
We got to let the big guy take over, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to take over.
Well, I'm just having some fun with you. So Maz,
I love chatting with you guys.
So again, this actually, I survived yesterday. Will not be able to survive today. So, Braylon, Maz says yesterday, hey, do you know the Lions could still make the playoffs? They haven't been eliminated yet.
You had to call BS on that.
He's got it on the shot sheet. He's got it on
He
yesterday.
pretends he doesn't hear me sometimes, and he'll skip to another subject. Like he'll say, "Oh, look at that bird out there," because he knows I have I don't have what's the word I'm looking for? I forget my train of thought. That's it. I'm like Mr. Costanza. I'm like Frank Costanza.
So today I come in, and after the circle of trust,
here we go.
Or the circle of
We
trust,
got 33 minutes left, by
the circle of parity.
He said a circle of trust. Let's meet the parents.
Yeah,
let's meet the parents.
So after the circle of parity and the circle of trust, don't you want to be in the circle of trust, Greg?
Man, great call.
He says, "Hey, do you know the Lions can still make the playoffs?"
Here we go.
No, really. There's scenarios for it. They've survived through week 1. So, Maz, do you want to read it, or Alex? Can somebody read?
I'll read it. Let me bring it up on my Slack. Hold on a second. Hold on. Lions.
How about some music for us, Fish?
Got it. I got it.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Okay, here we go. Week 14 coming up.
Okay.
The Lions must beat the Broncos.
Well, we know they got to win all the games.
These are the winners.
How do we stay alive for 1 week only? Just 1 week
Steelers
only.
got to beat the Vikings.
Okay, tonight.
Cowboys got to beat the Washington. Texans over the Seahawks. That's a toughie. Jets over the Saints. Panthers over the Falcons. Chargers over the Giants. Bungles over the Niners. Packers over the Bears.
All right.
All that can happen.
It could happen for the Lions, except
It starts tonight.
Except the Lions win.
But it starts tonight. The Lions have to win out on this scenario.
Yeah,
I would think so.
So the Lions have to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including last week 6 in a row.
Right.
So they have to win 7 games to get in the playoffs. They have to finish 7, 10, and 1. They make the NFC playoffs as the 8th seed.
All right. Very good.
How's that?
I love how you worry about all the other intangibles, like this team has to be this team.
Right.
This team has to be this team. But the most important thing is the thing that's not going to happen.
Right.
The Lions got to win them all.
Exactly.
Let's just stop
Yeah,
there.
Do you understand what Dan Campbell's doing? He's getting you guys. He's lulling you to sleep.
Lulling you to
because
sleep.
what did he say last week? Hey, look, we're not going to make the playoffs. We're spoilers.
That's because he didn't know about this order circle.
He didn't talk to you at a show meeting.
He should have talked to him.
Thanks to CBS NFL for these stats. Excellent stats.
Dan Campbell
from
with the old
CBS NFL.
The old rope-a-dope.
Tony.
Braylon, I wanted to address this with you, and that's playoff expansion. And, of course, nobody can make fun of Michigan fans anymore for saying, yeah, you want them expanded because you can't make it the way it is now. So, thankfully, that can go away for a minute.
Yeah, go talk to Penn State. They haven't made it.
Exactly. But let's put these scenarios up right now. So, as it stands, there's an 8-team, a 12-team, and a 16-team playoff scenario. Alex, which one do you want to put up first? This is the 16-team playoff as it stands right now. It would be number 1 versus number 16, Oklahoma, and number 3 versus number 14, Georgia, Oregon. Michigan versus Iowa, a repeat game in the playoffs. Michigan State would be playing Baylor in a 7-10 and so forth. Notre Dame, Pitt, 5-12. Ole Miss and Oklahoma State, 8-9, Cincinnati and BYU. I think 16 is too many. I do not like the 16, but I'd be okay with the 16. What do you think of it?
How would you be okay with letting BYU in? How would you be okay with letting a lackluster Oregon in? How would you be okay with letting an Iowa team?
I wouldn't. I'd rather the 4 than the 16, actually. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, this is way too many games for young college students, and 2, it's awful because that's this year. Just think of years past. Like, this is way too many. Way too many. Too many brands that you don't want to see. Like college basketball and football are way different. In college basketball, the NCAA tournament, like sometimes you don't mind when you got a George Washington playing against a whoever, Arizona. But this, hell no.
You don't need Ole Miss. You don't need Iowa.
Well, Ole Miss is number 8 this year, so Ole Miss will go against your expansion plans.
Yeah.
So let's just start with this one.
Fine.
All in favor? No.
Let's rip this one out. We don't like the 16 teams.
Okay.
Okay.
Here comes the 12.
Here comes the 12. This is the one that I like because I think in the future, I think you could take the 5 Power 5 conference champs and 3 at large. Okay.
So this is like basically it doesn't matter about your record. Did you win?
You're right. 5 automatic bid in the 5 Power Conference championships, and then 3 at larges.
I still don't like this one because if that's the case, there have been some teams that have lost 4 games and won the conference championship. You can lose 5 games and win the conference championship. I don't like that. I think you're rewarding like mediocreness. I think you're rewarding teams for being okay. Like if you're gonna fight for the national championship in football, college football, you can't be okay. You need to be damn good to great. So no, I don't like this either.
And that being said, is there any team on the left-hand side of the bracket that could win a national championship?
OSU.
7, 6, 5.
Yes, that's the point.
But that's 3 teams.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. Those teams could win a national championship.
Okay, but that's only 3. So now this is 12. That's why 12 still doesn't work.
So
only 3 teams could win.
So
Georgia could win, obviously, because we're playing against
Notre Dame,
Ohio State.
So
Michigan State, even like to a certain extent, that could be your 4th team.
You know who gets screwed here? It's Michigan as the 2 seed. Got to face the winner of that bracket. That's a killer. You want to beat Ohio State again?
That's what I'm saying. I was not in favor of this. I'm just telling you, you got 3 for sure, and maybe 1 in Michigan State. So 3 for sure, 4, but I still don't like this one.
All right, give me the 8 team.
Here we go. Nobody has a bye in this one.
So this is the 8 team. How would you do this? Could you do 5
This is based on the college football playoff rankings.
Wait, this
One
would
through
be
8.
my.
This is the one you
This
like.
is the one I was
This is the
talking
one you
about.
like.
Yeah.
This is 1 through 8.
Okay,
Period.
so this is the. I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. In the previous one.
GASSED, baby.
Right, gas. I would do the 5 Power 5 conference champions and then 3 at-larges. This is the one I like. I was confused.
I still don't like it because if Baylor beats Michigan, I'm like, what? Baylor? Nah, Alabama beats, Ole Miss somehow sneaks by Alabama.
Look at that bracket at the bottom.
You know what?
Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and Baylor.
You know what I like about this?
I like 6 with 2 byes. I'm telling you, 6 with 2 byes. You get 2 games. You get the winner of those 2 games, face the 2 guys that had byes, and then you get the national championship. That's the only one I will accept is 6 with 1 and 2 having a bye.
What I do like about this, though, is
more football.
Well, more football, yes, but it's not just about the playoff. It's about the regular season. I think this raises up, makes already a great regular season even greater. Because you have more teams that believe they have a chance to get into this. If Michigan got picked off against a Wisconsin at Camp Randall in week 4 of the season, you would be like, you know what? Okay, not out of it yet. It would still make your regular season worthwhile.
I will give you that. I definitely.
You could lose to Notre Dame in week 1.
Oh, trust me, we have.
Lose to Wisconsin in week 4, and you would still have a chance.
That's why I said, you know what, I actually understand this is because, when I was in college with the BCS, as soon as you lost at the beginning of the year, you were so dejected. You picked it back up because you were like, well, we still can win the conference. You still could win the Big Ten, and we still could get to Pasadena. So we were able to still find ourselves, but it just sucks because you were immediately out of the national championship picture. Like, if you think about my senior year, we lost 2 games, still be in the picture. My junior year, we lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Actually won. No, what we lose? Junior year? Yeah, we lost 2 games. But we're still in the picture. To your point, you know what? I understand that.
That is the precise point there.
Not bad.
It makes 10-2 alive. To go 11-1, 12-0, it is nearly impossible.
Freshman and sophomore year was a long year.
You need everything to go right, including injuries, and it makes this scenario. Makes 10-2.
Oh, by the way, you can still do well and still not be chosen.
Hey, let me ask you: do you think that Michigan State wouldn't like an opportunity to play in this right now at 10-2?
Yeah.
That's a team that could run the football.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
At 11-1.
Right. Not in.
Notre Dame got 1 loss.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Guys, he's 4-0 on Thursday Night Football picks since his debut here a month ago on our show. Chris Prince is the Beerman, and he is part of our Woodward Bet show here at Woodward Sports Network. He's going to join us next, live, Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
That time of the day when we talk about, you know what, Gypsy vodka. Oh, man. This stuff's amazing. Gluten-free. You know the holidays are coming up. Actually, I take that back. The holidays are here. So what happens during the holidays, you tend to gain a little bit of weight. You tend to put some eating pounds on. But if you're drinking gluten-free vodka, you might do a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
You might
absolutely.
And especially if it's infused with, let me think, artisanal spring water. You might seem to do a little bit better. And what if it's corn distilled 6 times? Now, I don't know how that affects the diet. But I will tell you this, those first 2, definitely. Now, if you want to take something that's great, something that is made right, something that they took their time doing, talking about Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys behind you, 50 formulas, tried, tested, and true. They waited till they got it absolutely perfectly right, and that's what Gypsy Vodka is. It is perfectly right for you to consume. Go to your neighborhood liquor stores and ask for Gypsy Free Vodka, because guess what? They have it.
Oh, they have it.
Oh, they got it.
They better have
It's in
it.
there.
And if they don't,
you better tell them Braylon
ask
sent you,
for
and then
it.
they'll get the secret stash
You
out
better
the back
ask for it.
But ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna drink, be responsible. Please drink responsible. Gypsy Free Vodka.
That's right. Hey, gang, want to bring him in. Chris Prince. He is the Beerman on Twitter at BeerMakersFan.
Oh, beer.
One of our favorite, one of our favorites here. You can listen to him weeknights and on the weekends, by the way. 6 o'clock. Woodward Bets with Scotty G. Scotty G on the chat
Scotty
as
G
well.
on the
We
chat.
certainly appreciate that. Beer, how you doing, buddy?
I am good, guys. First, want to say congrats on the big Michigan win. Ryan, I see you rocking the Michigan hat. Braylon, of course. I mean, just an amazing performance in that game against Iowa. So congrats to you guys, all the Michigan fans out there. And there's a lot of excitement. We're going to talk about this game to death until we get there, but super excited for the Wolverines.
Do you have a lean early in that one, Beer? Because, I mean, my eyeballs, when I saw 7, it opened up 7.5 for Georgia, and then it's gotten up to 8.5. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the hottest team in the country right now, the Michigan Wolverines. Do you have an early lean in this one?
Yeah, it feels like they're getting disrespected a little bit, but we've seen this before. The SEC can wipe these teams off the map sometimes. Sometimes there's such a discrepancy, but I do think they're playing well. I see this being an ugly game, and you see that reflected in that total, Ryan. This is going to be one that's won with defense. Who can establish the run? This is not going to be a high-scoring game. So in games like that, I want the team with the points. I do think that they have a good shot at winning this game, but with the 7.5, 8 points, wherever it lands by the time we get there, as of now, obviously a long way to go, a lot of research to go into it, but as of now, I'm leaning Michigan in the points.
Beer, Maz's eyes got real big today when he sees this Thursday night matchup with the Steelers and the Vikings. Not so much because the matchup is all that appetizing, but because you're 4-0 since making the appearance here a month ago. Maz, I will let you ask the Thursday night question to Beer.
All right,
as your
Beer.
eyes get big.
Hey, Beer, you know I love my Thursday night NFL. It's the Vikings and the Steelers, two teams that gave the Lions their 2 non-losses of the year. Yes, they are matching up tonight in Mini. Let's face it, man. Two teams that are not had a great year. The Vikings battling all year. Would they lose 7 games by 6 points or less? Mike Zimmer just can't seem to get it closed up. But he's got a hot girlfriend. I guess it doesn't matter. The Steelers are just beat up, and I'm so sick and tired of seeing the Steelers. Honestly, I don't even want to watch them, but I like the Vikings. Who do you like in this game?
Maz, I'm with you here, and a lot of reasons why I like Minnesota here tonight. First of all, betting-wise, you're seeing about half and half of the bets here, and when you look, I would try to look at it from the public perspective. You know, people looking at Pittsburgh are going to say they just had an impressive win against Baltimore in the division. Maybe they're back. People looking at Minnesota saying they just lost to the Lions. They allowed the Lions to get their first victory. So I think right away you're going to see people on Pittsburgh based on that. The 3.5 always pushes people towards getting the points. They want that hook, but we're seeing 75% of the money right now coming in on the Vikings, even though the bets are split down the middle. So that's something I always like to look for, is the discrepancy in bets and money coming in on the game. So that's not the only reason. All those reasons I laid out here, I think Minnesota gets it done here at home, backs against the wall. I think they respond. You really see this Pittsburgh offense struggle a little bit. Ben Roethlisberger should have retired last year. He knows that. We know that. I think we see that play out tonight. The Vikings win this one by a touchdown.
Chris, sorry I took so long with my headset. It's been an issue, man, but don't worry, I'll get that fixed. I'm actually going to take the Steelers, you know, and this is why. It might be a little sentimental reason. I didn't know Chris Wormley was still in the NFL. Former Michigan guy. Not only is he still in the NFL, he played another purple team last week, and oh, by the way, he had 2.5 sacks, so I'm going with the Steelers and my boy Chris Wormley.
Hey, Chris, I got to tell you, too.
And his name is Chris.
My guy last week was 9-2 in his college and NFL picks. Lighting them on fire. Oh, my God.
Maybe we got to get Braylon on the show and
hey,
Scotty the night off.
Let me know, man. I don't mind. I could just stay here a little longer, man, and just stay in studio and already be here, already be ready, man.
Hey, Beer, I want to take you to Saturday at MetLife. I wish I was there. I'd love to see this game. Army-Navy, Army a favorite. They're 7-point favorite. Last year's game, what was it, like 6-3 or something like that?
And that total is 34 and coming down.
34.5.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's tough to go in the total in these games. We know these teams can run the ball, and that clock just continues to go. You think it's an easy over anytime these two teams meet. Like, how can they not put 34 on the board? But I'm going to go with Army here. I'm gonna lay the points in this one. They've been a much better team this season. Navy, it's really been a struggle. I don't think they find a way to get it going here. This game is always a heated rivalry. I think Army dominates this one. So a big spread there. Maz, but I'm gonna lay the points there with Army to roll in this one.
Have any of you guys been to an Army-Navy game?
I have not, and I would love to.
I would love to go, in Philly especially, when they play in Philadelphia. How about you, Bray?
No. I know some people that went to Army, but never had the opportunity to go. They looked like fun games when I was playing in college. When I was paying attention a little bit more. Navy had that quarterback a couple of years ago that was lights out. I think he scored the most touchdowns in college football history. So they always are fun with the running and all that, but never had a chance, never had opportunity.
Hey, Beer, before we get to the NFL slate on Saturday, I like to get to the NBA. 3-game slate on the NBA tonight. Do you like anything in particular? The Lakers are on the board tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind the under in that game. We know the Lakers are an older team. Memphis has been playing a lot of games back-to-back tonight, so I don't mind the under there. But I really like the Spurs here tonight at home against Denver. The spread, people will look at it and say, why is Denver an underdog? Another team that played last night, so you could see some fatigue set in there. And the Spurs starting to turn it around. A slow start. I think they get it done here at home, so I'll go San Antonio minus the 2.5 here tonight.
All right, good stuff there. As we get to the NFL now, Beer, some big games this week. Chiefs, Raiders. I mean, you've got the Lions, Broncos. I don't know if that's a big game, but Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I don't know if anything jumps off at you today. Anything in particular? Any direction you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Lions again. We talked about it last time, that they are a covering machine. One win, but they continue to cover the spread. So going out to Denver, catching the 8 points, you hope the motivation is still there. And it's not a sense of we won a game. It lets down a little bit. Sometimes you see that. But, Braylon, these are professional athletes. They want to continue to go out there and get it done. So I don't mind the Lions +8. But 2 bets, Ryan, that really stand out to me. First one is the Cleveland Browns at home minus 2.5. This game opened up Baltimore -1, and it swung 3.5 points without any real major injury news. So you rarely see giant movements like that. We saw these two teams play a pretty close game here a few weeks ago. I think Cleveland minus the 2.5 makes a lot of sense. I also like Carolina minus 2.5. Now we saw Cam Newton, look not like Superman, look more like a regular dude like me. In that game against Miami, but I think he bounces back as well. Atlanta's defense has been a mess, so even without Christian McCaffrey, I think Carolina gets it done at home. So Cleveland, Carolina, a couple small home favorites I'm really liking this week.
Yeah, Chris, he definitely just looked like Clark Kent, not the guy that goes into the booth. But you're 100% correct. When you get to December, being in the NFL, you want to go out on a high note. Even if you guys aren't going to the playoffs, you want to win. GMs remember you winning. Coaches remember how you finished the year. Fans remember how you finished the year. And also, you remember how you finished the year. When you go to your vacation spot, it feels a little bit better, winning your last couple games in December or winning your last game or so. So definitely want to get wins in December just for peace of mind for everybody paying attention.
There you go.
Hey, Chris, thanks so much, my man. So we've got the Minnesota Vikings minus the 3 tonight, juiced up to 125, I see here. So if you like the Vikings, you might want to jump in on it now before maybe that gets the hook gets added to it closer to game time.
Absolutely. So hopefully we stay hot here, guys. Thanks for having me once again. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Pierce.
You got it. And then we'll see Braylon on the Woodward Bet Show with you one day.
I'm saying, I got to get on there. I got to get. I'm pretty decent all year, man.
Hey, how's Spencer doing for you guys? We hear he's doing a great job.
Yes. I want to give him a shout out. Try to do that every single show. He's been phenomenal, no doubt. So we got a lot of stuff coming up on the show. We do a beer segment with Scott. Beers with Beer every single Friday. So we're doing that tomorrow. Trying to expand his horizons. He's a Modelo Coors Light drinker. I of course, you name beer, you better know your beer. So we'll have him drinking some craft beer, trying it out. We're also putting together a college football pool for the listeners, for you guys. So
Sweet.
Keep an eye out on that as well. But, Spencer's done a great job, and this team we're putting together, some of the stuff we're doing at Woodward Bet, super excited about it. So hopefully everybody's checking out the show, and appreciate you guys for having us on here and spreading the word about the show.
Definitely.
Absolutely. We're big fans, Beer. Absolutely. 6 p.m. weeknights here on Woodward Sports Network. Also, weekend mornings as well. Woodward Bets, Scotty G, Chris Prince at Beer Makers Fan on Twitter. Give them a follow. Also, great stuff at Roto Grinders as well. Thanks so much, Beer. We appreciate you.
See you, Beer.
Thanks, guys. Let's go, Vikings.
Let's go, Vikings.
Skol.
5-0. Skol, baby.
Skol.
Skol. All right. We'll be right back. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Hey, gang, I want to let you know about Guardian Alarm. They've been your local security experts for over 90 years. That's right. Good offense is good, but a good defense, well, that'll win you a championship. Be that championship defender of your home. Throw that black and yellow sign out in front of your home as well. You know what that black and yellow says?
What does it say?
It says ooh-wee, and it also says stay out.
Stay out.
That's right. Guardian Alarm, state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe. 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control your lights, your temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. All you got to do is call this number. You ready for it, gang?
I'm ready.
Braylon, what is it?
Stay out.
1-800-STAY OUT.
I was feeding off the 1-800. I just jumped in.
I know it. Stay out.
Stay out.
Stay out.
1-800.
Stay out. Find new roads.
Don't forget the 1-800 part. Stay out.
My
you type in
bookie.
stay out, man. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to hear that.
Well,
Find new roads.
If you want to
It's
stay
wicked
out,
awesome when you find
you're
new
here
roads.
touchdown.
Yep. If you want to stay out, go ahead and drive your left Stanford Chevrolet and find new roads while you're doing that and drinking. Well, not in your car.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You can drink your Gypsy vodka when you get to your destination.
Yep.
And your destination is Lady Jane's Wicked Awesome.
And then you can sit there on your phone and go to mybookie.com and make your little bets.
While
Use
you're
your
getting your hair
promo.
cut at Lady Jane's.
Promo code Woodward.
You might want to Uber. You might want to Uber home after all that.
Are we having fun today? Or
You might want to Uber home after
Oh my
that.
God, Mass, do you want to see? Yeah, you want to Uber?
Can we go back to the circle of parity?
Oh my God. Hey, I worked with you on that one.
Thanks, man.
Oh God, bottom line videos of the day, man. Let's
Hey,
hear
man,
out.
I'm scared to fly in a plane. I don't love
What do you
flying
mean
in a
you're
plane.
scared
I
to fly?
love planes.
I don't like being in a plane.
Ooh-wee.
I just don't. I'd rather drive somewhere than fly somewhere.
Sure.
But when you got to get on a plane, you get on one. How the heck would you like to be on this plane trying to
I
land
saw this.
in Manchester
Oh, my God.
Airport? Look at this thing.
Wind.
That's not
Look
it.
at this thing.
That's not the John Gruden win.
Look at it shaking.
Wind. Windy.
Windy
Look, there's a couple,
conditions.
there's a couple different angles here.
And we can laugh
Manchester
because
Airport.
thankfully nobody was injured on
Yeah,
this.
no, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I give the pilot a lot of credit for landing this sucker. Look at this
Was
thing.
Sully flying this plane?
No, man, they looked like they might have needed him.
Do you understand what Sully did?
No.
That was
I know.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
It's almost
Yeah.
like he planned it.
Unreal.
It's a
But
miracle.
congrats to this pilot for getting home safe in Manchester Airport. Those winds had to be, 50 mile
Gotta
an
love
hour, 60
Manchester,
mile an hour
man.
Gotta
wind?
be more than that.
Oh, Manchester.
To move
gotta
a plane
love it.
like that, that's a little more than 50.
Would you get in a prop plane?
No.
I had to get in a prop plane one time to go from Philly to Washington. It was 1998 to go see the Red Wings. I fly into Philly, and then they're like, okay, your next flight is out here. You got to walk out on the tarmac outside and get in this little propeller plane. I'm like, honestly, there were 6 seats in the plane.
No, I couldn't do it.
I almost died. I almost crapped myself.
I've been in one once. I think we flew. It was from Philly, mind you. I think I flew from Philly to Hartford for the
for the Whalers.
No, for the hell no. For the Walter Camp. Walter Camp All-American is at UConn. Is at Stores. So we flew in Hartford, man. It was like, it was 6 seats. It's like me, my mom, my dad, and like 3 other people we didn't know.
That's some scary stuff.
You just close your eyes, man.
The flight attendant had to keep patting me on the back. She said, "It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." All right, we move on. How about this for a little? You go. Let's go see the Christmas tree. So you go to Rockefeller Center, and then these people went over to
Fox.
To the Fox. Yeah. So Fox News in New York has a Christmas tree up. Well, they did have a Christmas tree up, because this is what it looks like now. They burned the Christmas tree down.
They were saying, ooh, wee.
Somehow it burned down. That is something, man.
Terrible. Go figure. Go figure it was that one and not Rockefeller. Go figure.
Thank God it wasn't the Rockefeller Center one or Campus Martial.
Shouldn't be burning Christmas trees.
Of course not.
Is this fake news? I'm trying to figure it out.
So there you
go. I don't know. I think that's pretty real.
I saw the emojis. That's what threw me off.
Oh man.
All right, let's take you to some sports now. 2018.
Oh,
3
yeah,
years
sports,
ago.
my favorite.
3 years ago today, it's the Patriots and it's the Dolphins. It's a miracle for the Dolphins. The
Patriots
Miami Miracle. Check this out.
Seconds left. Tannehill will throw it. And this will
listen.
After the shovel, or will it?
Here we go.
Ryan worked for the Dolphins.
Look out.
When this play
Your
happened.
Ryan.
Yes, my Ryan works for the Dolphins when this play happened.
Wow.
She was there.
Listen.
Oh, she.
Iron Eagle with the call. The Dolphins shocked the Patriots. Of course, unbelievable. On the kickoff, they put Rob Gronkowski in the back to be the last guy, and watch him trip here. He missteps. Kenyon Drake, who's out now with a broken leg, right? There. There.
Oh. Unbelievable.
That's a miracle when you can do stuff like that. Passing back and forth.
Very good.
And forth.
Very good.
Did you watch the Knicks game last night, by the way?
No.
Of course you did.
I did not see Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin is a guy that I really wanted here in Detroit.
He's a good player.
I would have loved to have had him here. I mean, we had the opportunity to draft him. A lot of teams passed him up.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have, though. This was him last night. Highlight reel. Listen to Clyde. Walt Frazier on the call.
That's coming in second. Watch the creativity here. The razzle, the dazzle.
Look at this. In between his legs, the ball, and a jam. Just like it was a dunk contest.
How sweet it is. So, are the mics on?
Yeah.
Here's what's not sweet about that. When he did that, they were down 7, and they ended up losing by 30. Don't do stuff like that when you're down by 7. It's the NBA.
Right.
Yeah, right. I'm with Braylon on that one.
Like,
Don't be doing
I'm not a hater, but like,
listen, can I say something to you?
Down 7? No.
Can I say something to you as
Yeah.
a Knicks fan? Can you picture me as an 11-year-old little boy? Look at me now.
I can.
Okay.
You've been watching this for that many
Yeah,
years?
because they haven't won since I was 11 years old.
Because they do stuff like
that's
this.
fine. They're dysfunctional, and that's okay. At least they got a fun guy.
I mean,
to
they
watch.
were good last year.
Yeah, they were okay.
They were the number 2 seed in the East at one
lost
point,
to
and
Atlanta.
and finished 4. But they weren't the only team that lost to Atlanta.
I know.
Keep in mind, the Nets should have lost to Atlanta too. I mean, not the Nets, the Bucks should have lost to Atlanta too. So.
Trae Young was phenomenal last year.
Yeah, he was.
Phenomenal, and he owns the Garden, by the way.
He does.
This is for Bray. I know he loves himself a little.
Owns the Garden.
He does.
He does.
He does.
What he
Trae
did
Young,
last
he
year.
owns him.
I
Man.
love
He
it.
owns that he owns Spike Lee.
I love it.
Happy birthday, 48 years old to T.O. Let's check out some T.O. highlights. That's my quarterback.
How old is T.O.?
48.
What?
Yeah.
Looks like he's 28.
all week long as to whether or not he would
Oh my God.
This is him playing on the broken leg after 2 weeks in the Super Bowl.
Had the screws in it. Has the screws in his ankle. Can
Look
you
what he
tell?
did. They should have beat the Pats.
That's why he was so mad at you know who.
Yep.
So mad at
Donovan.
Donovan McNabb said he gave up.
Remember McNabb threw up?
Yep.
Oh my God. Who's calling this game?
Joe and Troy and Chris Collinsworth. Used to be the three of them.
Wow.
He's just going to raise up and throw the ball.
Look at that.
You're talking about impeccable conditioning.
Yeah, he's a monster.
This happens for impeccable conditioning. That play was reminiscent of the catch that Julio Jones made against the Chiefs.
Yep, look at that.
Against the Patriots.
He's
the
really
Julio
a
Jones
monster.
Super Bowl catch.
I'm so happy he's in the Hall of Fame.
It's great.
Although he didn't go. Funniest snub ever. He didn't go.
He celebrated at home.
Because he was mad that he wasn't first ballot.
I love that.
Rightfully so.
I know, but he should have went.
You said what?
He should have went.
No, because BS. Because they punished him for all the antics off the field, which have nothing to do with on the field.
Which is so dumb.
I loved his antics.
They punished him, so he didn't go. I have no problem with it.
Remember he was eating the popcorn on the sidelines. He did the cowboy spike.
All right, we got to get back on track. Hold on.
did it
Remember,
all.
remember yesterday.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all he's got.
That's all I got, man. I'm out.
I was just messing with you.
Guys, you're going to have a big show tomorrow. Derek Barnes of the Lions going to join us
Hard-hitting number
as well.
55.
And then Stick is in for me. Braylon is leading the way tomorrow, baby.
Let's do it.
Look at that. Yes, Stick!
You got this, Stick. You got this.
Braylon, take us out.
Hey, look, man, it's the holiday season. Be kind to people. You never know what anybody is going through during the holiday season, man. Just being nice, cracking a smile, cracking a joke, just being a polite gesture goes a long way during the holiday season. 'Tis the season. Also, Saturday. I know we're a day away from talking about Saturday, but you know what? You got the Heisman. You got Steph Curry going to break the record against Seth Curry on Saturday. 10 threes. Yeah, it's a heavy trophy, man. UFC, Poirier, and Nunes should be a great time. Shout out to my man Fred. Fred's racist with the studio appearance. Don't break it. You break it, you pay for it. I'm Edwards. That's Fred. That's Ermanni. Fish and Alex, great job. Maz, my guy. Sticks in studio tomorrow.
I didn't win that thing.
I'm bringing back
But
the
you
circle.
never came off the field, though.
I'm bringing back the circle of parity tomorrow for Stick.
All right. On that note, that's the bottom line. We're out here.
He'll appreciate it.
I love you guys.
Up.
Telegram.
Project Arcturus couldn't have succeeded without you. This will get you a little closer to that dream of yours. It's not the Dallas Cowboys, but it's a start. Drop me a line if you're on the East Coast. Hank Scorpio. Oh, the Denver Broncos!
I think owning the Denver Broncos is pretty good.
Yeah.